What I have often said is the inevitable merger of the MacBook Pro and the iPad is becoming more of a reality than it has ever been before, coming as early as 2026. What's going on, YouTube? So, I made a video on this channel which ended up being the most popular video to date, in which I described what I thought would be the future of the M1 iPad Pro, and WWDC 2021 would bring Mac-like applications to iPad OS. And while I was wrong with the timeline, time is telling that nearly everything else that I described in the video is becoming a reality. So if that sounds like the video you came to see, hit the subscribe button, click the bell so you don't miss it. We cover all things iPad Pro and your favorite techosophy. I'm Chris Grant Jr. It's the Granite Geek Show. So let's dive right in. So in addition to the video that I made about the future of the iPad, I made a video about the future of the device. And yes, I think it'll look a little something like this: a single slab of glass that can be your laptop. It can be docked as a desktop. It's also a tablet, and it can run and do anything that your phone can do. Yes, I think this is the future of the device, and I think Apple agrees. Now, obviously, they had this in the works, and they were doing R&D on this long before I ever made my video, but I don't really care. I'm just happy to see it happening. So getting into this article, this is a Mac Rumors article. I'll link it down below, by Hartley Charlton, in which she describes the device as a folding notebook. But I think when most people see a device that looks like this, right, that folds, they're going to see a foldable tablet. They're going to say this is a foldable iPad, not a foldable notebook with an all-screen keyboard. You see, when the device folds, the top half will become the screen, the bottom half will become, yes, an on-screen keyboard, which is why I said the future of the device would be this, and it wouldn't really be called a notebook or a laptop, but more a tablet that folds. So let's talk about what the article says. It says, in a new DSCC report on upcoming foldable and rollable devices, Young explained that Apple's long-running foldable iPhone has been delayed until 2025. Surprise, surprise. This is the foldable from Apple that's been getting most of the attention. But once again, I don't think that the iPhone is the future of the device. But despite delaying its foldable ambitions for the iPhone, Apple is allegedly exploring the possibility of offering all-screen foldable notebooks. The company is said to be discussing foldable notebooks with displays around 20 inches in size with its suppliers. Man, it's crazy because the video that I made so long ago was describing a device that would be like this, and to see it finally coming to fruition when almost no other tech YouTubers were really jumping onto it, this is going to be the device to have. Obviously, I like that they're thinking of it, at least internally, as a notebook over at Apple, because what does that mean? It means it's going to get notebook software. iPad OS is a crying shame compared to what the M1 can do in a tablet like this. It is simply not unleashed. Now, I thought that the M1 iPad Pro would be getting all this Mac software in a version of iPad OS. And while I still do think that whatever this foldable notebook or foldable iPad will be, I think it'll still run on a version of iPad OS. It will be a much more powerful version that is much closer to Mac OS in functionality than something like iOS or iPad OS. Now, do I think that this M1 is still a good buy? Do I think it's something that would still be able to run something like a Mac iPad OS? Yes, because M1 runs Mac OS, and if your Mac Mini on M1 or your MacBook Air or MacBook Pro with M1 can run this new operating system because it's all on the same silicon at this point, yeah, I would think theoretically that the M1 iPad will still be eligible for these software updates, although there might be some functionalities that it can't do because it doesn't have a foldable on-screen keyboard. Now, we know that iPads are perfectly capable of just sliding up an on-screen keyboard, but I wouldn't expect Apple to give all that kind of functionality without going all in on their new device category, I guess you could call it. It would really just be a foldable tablet. And I don't know if we should be calling it a new category. Like, if you have a laptop and you make it foldable, is that a new category? If you have a tablet and you make it foldable, is that a new category? Foldable phone, is that a new category? No, it's still just a phone, a tablet, and a laptop. So to all my subscribers and everybody who dealt with my craziness over the last year about what the iPad would be and what the future of it is, we're finally starting to see it pay off. So if you've been with me on that journey, hit the like button, subscribe, comment down below. I want to talk to you guys about Would you even use something like this? Is this the device you've been waiting for? It just seems like it's such the elephant in the room for Apple to combine these two devices, and they just haven't done it. And I know they've been thinking about it. R&D, these articles are coming out saying that this is what they've been working on. But now to see it out in the wild, actual reports, actual people picking up on this story, as you could probably tell, a lot of people in the tech world are still not really talking about this. And I don't understand. I made a couple videos called The Conspiracy Against the iPad Pro in particular. So check those out to find out my thoughts on why this is happening, why the iPad, which I think is the best device Apple makes currently. I'm not talking about chips, I'm not talking about the most powerful device, but I'm talking about the most versatile, elegant design. I mean, when this thing changed its design in 2018, it changed all of Apple's design language, from what people thought the future Apple Watch would be. iPhone changed to this rounded corner after iPad. MacBook Pros now look kind of like, well, I guess you could say it was like the old G4 titanium MacBook Pro with the rounded corners. But I mean, in the modern era, the iPad is responsible for all of the current design language. So anyway, I don't want to ramble on. I'm not going to waste your time. Hit the subscribe button, click the bell. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching as we cover all things iPad Pro and all of the techosophy that there is behind it. I'm Chris Grant Jr. It's the Grant and Geek Show.